Hello everyone, this is Akash Chauhan, and in today's lecture we will be discussing about the functions in C++. Let's first understand why do we need the function first of all, okay? So that we can understand what was the motive behind development of a function in any language, irrespective of the language. What are the actual needs of using functions in any language? But today's we will talk about in C++, but they are common, or I would say in general we can apply all these the use of functions in other languages as well. These are not specific to the C++ language. You would understand why I'm saying that. So first understand why we need functions. So to understand that, let me write a simple code so that we can understand the motivation behind writing a function. So this is the code. So in that code, if you are able to see, I have declared two variable a and b, and I have initialized their values 10 and 10. Then I'm calculating the sum of these values, and then I'm printing those values. So the value of this logic or this program would be 20. So what if I can write all this logic a plus b in a function, and I can return the output of the logic as a return type. So let me write a simple function. So this is the basic function. Till this point the code is same. A and b both declared with 10 and 10, as defined as a 10 and 10. So now I'm calling some function with 10 and 10 values. So let's come to the integer part. So if you look at it, it is expecting integer, two integer as the parameters, and calculating the sum of those and returning as an integer. So here the output would be integer as a 20. So both programs would print 20, but there are huge differences between the write-up of both these programs. Okay, so let's say this is program 1 and this is program 2. So why we are writing this P2 program? Okay, that is our motive. Okay, that's why we are saying that we should use function, but without knowing the need of function, how can we sure about this is the correct way, this is the correct way to write a program. Okay, so let's understand the advantages of using function. The very first advantage I would say is the code reusability. What it means, let's say this is the logic. In your program you have written 1000 or let's say 10,000 times the same code. You might be adding 10 and 20 here, 10 and 10 here, maybe 30, 50 later on, but you have to write all these lines 1000 times or 10,000 times. But if you have written this logic over here, do you need to write this code again and again, or you just need to call this function with different values? This is that simple. Okay, so I'm saying the very first advantage is the code reusability of your code. It means you want to reuse whatever you have written. You don't want to write the redundant code in your program. Otherwise, it would increase your number of lines in the code. It will make your program very complex, and the file size of your program would also increase, and the program would also become quite very cohesive. The testing of your program would also be very, very complex. We will look at all these aspects one by one, but the very first aspect is the code reusability. So by doing so, by writing P2 program, what we are doing, we are writing one program for all these 1000 times use in your program. So I'm writing just one time, and I can use it. Like in that case, I'm using 10,000 times. I just need to use this declaration of your function. Okay, so it will definitely improve the code reusability. There are other aspects of your functional approach in a program. Why we use functional approach in any language? So let's discuss one by one and explore them. So the very first thing is the code reusability. In advantage, we are saying we have code reusability if we are using the code again and again, it means we don't need to write code again and again in our program for the same purpose. So it will definitely save the time of your programmer, right? We don't need to write redundant code for sure. Why? Because we are concising code for a particular logic in one function. So we just need to call that function. We don't need to write that logic again and again. So we will remove the redundancy in your code. So definitely if you are reusing your code, then the number of lines would also decrease. So we will use less number of lines or code to solve a problem. That is very important thing. The second advantage of using functions in your program is the code conciseness. So what is the use of conciseness of your code? It means for a programmer, it would be super easy to understand if you have concised your code in a particular structure by using function. It means, for example, you have written some logic in one function, the subtract logic in one function, the business logic in one function. So later on, you just need to call these functions individually. You don't need to write code and again. So that is the use of it. It would become super easy for a programmer to understand the code. So in case if you're for a programmer, definitely it would also be easy to manage your code and the project itself, right? If it's easy to understand. So if you can manage your code and project very easily, it means it is super easy for you to make changes in your code if it is concise. For example, if you have used the functions at 1000 places and you just need to change the logic of a function inside the logic, you just need to make a small change. So you don't need to go to those 1000 or 100 places to make changes. You just need to make change in the definition of your function at one place, and it will reflect everywhere wherever we have used the function. Okay, so this is very important aspect of using the functional approach in any language. That is very important, guys. The another thing is your code would become less complex. Why? Because you are making your code very concise. You are putting similar or related code in one function and another function for the different logic. So definitely your code would become easy to understand and less complex. The third advantage of using your functional approach in a C++, it means if you have written concise code for individual functions, then we definitely know what is going inside the function and what we are getting out of this function. Means what are the input parameters of the function and what would be the output of your function. The return data of your function we would know in advance, so we can test the functions very easily, right? So individual functions testing is super easy. Let's say if there is an error in a code, so we don't need if we have used a function 1000 or 10,000 times, so we don't need to go to those places where we have used that function, but instead we go to the definition of the function and fix the error at one place, and it will reflect everywhere. So this is also one of the major advantages of using functions. The next, I would say the last but not the least, another advantage is less cohesiveness in your program. Less cohesiveness if you have combined or concise code in one function that are related to each other, and if you want to make changes in the program, then definitely it would not affect the whole structure of a program. Why I'm saying that, let's understand this by this code. So for example, like it is printing 20, it is also printing 20. Let's say if we want to make change in the logic over here, we want to say let me erase it and let me write a new logic for that. And the new logic is a plus b plus 5. So I have made the changes at one place only, at this place only, right? And we don't need to make the change where we are using the function. Where we have defined the function, we do need to make change at that place like this, but we don't need to make change at the place where we have used this function. So that is a very important aspect, that it is not changing the structure. We are not, let's say we have used 1000 times this function, then we don't need to go to the lines, all these lines where we have used these functions. So that's why we are saying it is very easy to make changes without making changes in the structure of a program or of your project. So guys, this is about the function. I think you guys must be aware about now that why we need function and what was the motive of inventing function after all. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is the user defined function and its component. We have understood what is function, why do we need function, what was the motive behind inventing a function, and what are the advantages of using a function. But how to write a function? There should be a proper structure of that, and what would be the component of those structure, that structure. Okay, so let's discuss that structure of writing any function. So guys, this is how you define a function. First, you need to decide the return type of your function. It could be anything like integer, void, or anything. Function name you have to define. Then you need to define the parameters. Parameters, let's say it could be integer a. So you need to define the data type of a variable. Okay, in the definition of your, this is called the definition of your function. Then you write the body, it means the code of your program over here, and that code would also include the return data. Return data means according to this return type what your function would return. Okay, so I have written some examples over here, you can see. So user defined function, the return type could be integer, float, character, or let's say it could also be object. We will learn about this in the next unit where we will learn about the object and classes. So this data can also be object, the character, or the integer in respect to this return type. The function name could be like sum or subtract, anything you want to make, you can make as a function name. Parameters, during the definition you have to define their data types of the parameters you are going to use, integer, character, float, or anything. The function body would include the code of your program, like what we have written over here. Let me give you the clear picture. Here this is the function body. Okay, this is the function body. So guys, this is the return data. It would be related to the return type. Okay, so guys, this is about the user, how to define a function by the user. But what about the component? Can you guess what would be the component of defining a function? These are the component: return type, function name, function body, return data, the parameters. These would be the component. Okay, you don't need to remember these things. I think if you have understood this concept well, then you don't need to remember the name of these things in a sequence, or you would know the thing how to write a function quite easily. So these are the component: return type, function name, parameters, and function body. So guys, this is about today's lecture. In next lecture we will be discussing about argument passing. So when we have created a function, then we definitely need to, or we can pass some values in a function. We don't need to pass, it is not mandatory. We will discuss about that. But we can pass different kind of values. We can pass the values itself, we can pass the reference of those values, we can pass the pointers in C or C++ during the function call, or the addresses of the variables. So these are very important aspects regarding, I would say this is the main important part regarding functions. So you must also be aware about this part really very well. So guys, this is about today's lecture. Let's discuss these things in the next lecture. Thank you so much guys, and have a good day.